BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good evening. Let me bring you more on the Luton Library story, because campaigners have staged a protest outside Wigmore Library in Luton ahead of its permanent closure at 6 o'clock this evening. The Borough Council says it cannot afford to keep it open, so it's closing it down along with the library in Sundon Park. One of the protesters, David Birtwistle, is critical of the council's consultation process.
I just think it's all been a whitewash. They've gone out for public consultation, they've asked people what they thought, but all in all, when it gets down to it, they've decided already what's going to happen, and I just think that's bad. If they decided, why did they bother asking? Because that's just an insult. You know, the whole thing is just a complete whitewash. It's all obfuscation, smoke and mirrors. You know, Darren Brown will be proud of what these people have done. It's all magic and pointless. Stopsley is my nearest library, but I prefer to come here because the people here know me. They know what I need, they know what I can do and what I can't do. I do have a sight problem, and getting here and round is very, very easy. I've got a bus stop there that if I travel to the library, I get the bus stop that's right outside. If I travel home from the library, I get the bus stop that's right outside, because the bus is going in that direction, come all the way around. You know, and this is perfectly situated, and they can't work out how to refund. They just basically they can't be bothered, you know, and that's the bottom line. They cannot be bothered.
One of the protesters, David Birtwistle, there. You'll listen to that is Maggie Appleton, and Maggie is the Chief Executive of Luton Culture, who look after libraries in the town. Maggie, good evening. You've upset a lot of people in Wigmore. They say you can't be bothered.
It's very interesting to hear what David was saying there, and you know, certainly for us, the public and the public support for libraries over the last months has been really precious to us, because obviously libraries are really, really important, and all our teams...
Well, not that important, because you're closing some of them down.
All our teams can be bothered, and we're very, very bothered indeed.
We heard, Maggie, earlier from a 93-year-old widow who is devastated by the decision to close Wigmore down. Devastated. Yeah.
Unfortunately, as you know, our funding's been cut by £1.58 million, and a cut that size, we cannot continue to do everything that we've always done on that scale of funding cut. And fortunately, as a charity, we managed to earn money from other places as well, which has helped mitigate the losses we'd have to make. But it absolutely is affecting customers who our staff see on a day-to-day basis and are there to support. So it is incredibly difficult and incredibly sad.
But protesters say these closures discriminate against the elderly, the infirm and children. I mean, 72,000 people use Wigmore every year. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's 72,000 visits. Obviously, some of those are repeat visits that
Still
come in.
A lot of visits.
It is a lot of visits. We have 1 million visitors to our libraries altogether. So a lot of people use the libraries in Luton. And as I say, if we weren't being cut by £1.58 million, we would never even countenance. Of course, we run libraries. We love them. It's what we do.
But we've heard from people, libraries have told us that you dismissed a 10,000 petition as just signatures. I mean, doesn't it matter what they thought? I mean, 10,000 signatures.
10,000 signatures is an absolute testament to how important libraries are.
But you're still closing them.
We absolutely did not dismiss those at all. We're closing them because of the massive funding cut. But Luton Culture didn't lead the consultation, but we supported Luton Borough Council in the consultation process, and all our teams across all our libraries encouraged people to fill in the consultation that the council used then to help work out how best to go about this.
Maggie, listen, I appreciate you're the Chief Executive of Luton Culture, which is a charity set up by the council to run the thing. I know how it works. Okay, we've heard from protesters who say Luton Culture is run by a bunch of unelected bureaucrats who waste money on things like concerts in the town that nobody wants and actually went to see.
The concerts weren't run by Luton Culture, I'm afraid. So that's a mistake. We didn't run those concerts, but we do run museums and arts as well as libraries. Over half our funding goes to libraries and went to libraries before the funding cuts, and over half our funding will still go to libraries afterwards. And I think what's really important to say is that we work closely with the council over a number of months to listen to what people were saying and also to look.
But Maggie, and I know because you haven't listened that carefully because people want the libraries to remain open and you shut them.
Of course they do.
In about in the next 6 minutes they're going to close.
Of course they do, and that's why we looked at all sorts of options, such as if we just reduced hours everywhere, could that work and do it instead so we wouldn't have to close anything?
Yeah, but some people will say, Maggie,
that wouldn't have made
Maggie,
the cut
some
we
people will
needed
say
to.
instead of spending 90 million quid on a busway that nobody wanted, you could have spent 86 million pounds on a busway and had a few extra million quid left over for the libraries. Some people might say.
They might, and obviously Luton Council don't run the busway, but also, as I'm sure you know, how public funding works is it's different pots of money from different places in central government.
Maggie, I'm not going to have a go at you. Look, it doesn't matter where it comes from. It's taxpayers' money.
Absolutely.
They can put it in different pots. It's always down to us. We're paying this money in, and you've got 10,000 signatures saying don't close the library. It's going to shut its doors in the next 5 minutes for the last time.
As the head of Luton Council, I would always say the best way to spend your public money is on libraries and cultural services. Of course I would. As I say, that cut means that we as a charity have to remain solvent, else we can't deliver anything for anyone. And where we are at now is that before the library closures, 88% of people in Luton were within a mile of a public library. After the closures, it'll be 86.6. Now, that doesn't mean to say that individuals won't really lose out here. I absolutely recognise that. But in terms of doing the best we could with what was available, I think we've worked really hard to try and do that. But I have to say, I would like to take the opportunity to thank all our customers and say, please do continue to come and visit us, because libraries are important.
They can't come to Wigmore, for example. It's going to close down. Maggie, thank you. Let's talk to Claire Lee, who's at Sundon Park, one of the other libraries set to close for the final time in the next few minutes. Claire, very good afternoon to you. Very good evening to you.
Good afternoon, or good evening, sorry, yeah.
Well, whatever it is. Listen, you're a parent with 2 young children. We heard from David, who uses Wigmore Library, and he says it's a lifeline to him. How do you feel about the closure of Sundon Park?
We are absolutely devastated. It feels a little bit surreal, actually. We've had this threat of closure a few times, but to actually feel it happening today is very sad. My children are very disappointed, and I really don't have an answer to give them. They're asking me why it's actually closing, and to be honest with you, it still amazes me as to why this decision has been made.
Well, how have you used that library, Claire?
My boys come here on a regular basis. Basically, our library is ideally located to the 3 schools here in Sundon Park. My boys come on their bike or we walk down, and basically they come most evenings, get the books out, or they go on the computers, they do some research, etc. And basically it's the lifeline that sometimes I need as well. They help me here with the homework, anything that I sort of have issues with myself, with their computer, IT or anything. And I just feel, this library service, it's not just about loaning books. It's a vital component here in the community. They are, basically, it is an institution that's come to me many things to many people.
Yeah, because Look, I know where the library is in Sundon Park. I mean, Luton is a big town. Sundon Park is a long way away from the main library in the centre of Luton.
Yes, we are 4.1 miles away from town. And to be honest with you, I'm an upwardly mobile person. I drive. But I will be a casualty of the library. My 2 children will not go to Leagrave or to Marsh Farm because it's too dangerous to go to either of those libraries. Now, yes, we are within a mile of the crow flies. That's a silly statement to make. Nobody walks a mile of where the crow flies. We have, junctions, busy roads. People have disabilities. Elderly people come to this library because it's in a great location. They can come here unaided. They can come unsupported. They feel that they can get out of their homes. Already many of them feel extremely lonely and isolated in these houses around here, and the library has been their lifeline. To take it away has basically put a very big nail in the coffin for Sundon Park, for the community of Sundon Park.
Listen, in 90 seconds' time, those libraries will close their doors for the last time. Gone.
extremely sad. We have tried our hardest. We have appealed to the empathy of the Cultural Trust and to the Council, and basically all of our petitions and our wishes and our needs have fell on deaf ears. We just hope and pray now that the Cultural Trust and the Council will please work with us and support us in any way they can to hopefully allow us as a community to run this building ourselves and basically keep some kind of community spirit here in Sandon Park.
Claire, good talking to you. I wish you well.
Thank
Claire
you.
Lee, who uses the Sandon Park Library. Those libraries will close their doors in less than a minute's time.